How's it going, guys? It's your old pal Bobby Ganoush here again. So I told you I had some more videos coming up, some more product reviews coming up, and I wanted to bring you this review here today because I am so excited about it, as you can see by the smile on my face. This is something that is brand new to me. I just got it in the other day. It's something that I am upgrading to, something that I'm so excited to try out and so excited to debut for you guys. Oh man, so here we go. Here's my official review of the Nemo Tensor Insulating Sleeping Pad. Let's go ahead and get into it. So okay guys, as you already figured out, I have a brand new sleeping pad that I am so excited about. The Nemo Tensor Insulated Sleeping Pad. I am so excited that I got this. I cannot wait to take it out on the trail and try it out. I have plenty of experience with it, trying it out at the store and things of that nature. However, I finally own one myself, and I get to make it a permanent piece of equipment in my sleeping pad, in my sleeping system, and in my backpacking gear. And there are some great reasons why I'm choosing this pad and why I'm upgrading to this pad over my Thermarest NeoAir X-Lite. So, to quickly go over some of the details of this, and then I'll get into why I am replacing my NeoAir with this one here. So this, again, Nemo Tensor Insulating Sleeping Pad. This comes in at only 14.5 ounces. Now, the 14.5 ounces is the sleeping pad all by itself. The stuff sack and also the patch kit that comes with it brings it up to 15.5 ounces. However, for those of you who know how I how I set up my system and pack my setup, they know that I leave the stuff sack at home and just go standalone with the sleeping pad itself. So it will be a true 14.5 ounces for me. So this pad is the regular size mummy version. It comes in at 20 inches wide by 72 inches long, and believe it or not, a whole 3 inches thick. So this gives me a whole 3 inches of loft, which is spectacular. So this does come in a whole variety of sizes and everything as well, from your standard rectangular, the large if you want to bump it up in size and everything. And obviously they're going to come with different weights. I opted for the regular size mummy to try to decrease the weight a little bit. And so the fact that it comes in at only 14.5 ounces, only 2.5 ounces heavier than the NeoAir X-Lite, I'm thoroughly impressed. I think this is going to be a pad in the future that's going to compete with the X-Lite line by Thermarest, and something that in the future could possibly take it over. So this pad doesn't necessarily have an R value, it just has a temperature range and a temperature value. So this one here is rated from 15 to 25 degrees, which is spectacular for what I want to do. You know, I go backpacking all 4 seasons, so I need it to be great during the summer and warm weather, and I need it to also keep me warm during the cold weather. So this is something with a great temperature range on there, something that I'm really excited about. You know, as I do have a trip coming up beginning of February, it's winter, it's going to be cold. I need something that's going to withstand those cold temperatures and keep me nice and warm. So as you can see, it does pack down pretty nice and small. It's about the size of a 1 liter water bottle, you know, no bigger than my Nalgene. In fact, probably smaller than my Nalgene. So essentially the same exact size as the NeoAir X-Lite. Now this pad is actually insulated, which is what I'm really happy about. So as you know, with the NeoAir X-Lite, it just has that mylar blanket that lines the interior, and that's what gives you that 3.2 R value. This thing has a couple different ways of how it stays insulated. One, it does have that silver, that mylar lining on the interior, and secondly, it also does have a bit of a Primaloft insulation on the interior as well. So this is actually insulated. So it's not just a mylar blanket on the interior hoping that it reflects enough body heat. This is actually an insulated pad, and yet it still only stays at 14.5 ounces. So with Nemo, I'm thoroughly impressed with how they're able to keep that weight down. So there's a few different reasons I decided to choose this pad and replace my Thermarest NeoAir X-Lite. So number one is the noise. The NeoAir X-Lite has a reputation of being pretty loud. You know, that mylar lining combined with the the design on the interior, the honeycomb interior. It creates this like crackling sound that's just so annoying in the middle of the night when you're trying to turn over and stuff. And on top of that, I do sleep in shelters quite often. So trying to keep quiet when there's other people in the shelter, that pad is just so loud, it's so annoying and so obnoxious. I wanted something that was going to be a little bit quieter. And this is absolutely quieter. Again, I haven't tested this out in the field, but I've had plenty of experience this in the store at work, and I just love how super quiet it really is. Secondly, I wanted something that was going to be a little bit better next to skin. This has a really, really soft nylon with it, which makes it great for sleeping right on top of. You know, during those summer months, I'm often just using a sleeping bag liner or even just taking my 45-degree sleeping bag and using it as a blanket. And so I sleep right on top of the sleeping pad. The Nemo or X-Lite, their updated version, definitely had a much softer nylon, but it still was like kind of sticky next to skin. It felt like plasticky next to skin. This is a really nice soft nylon. It's something that I perfectly feel comfortable with, you know, just sleeping right on top of, knowing that I'm going to be perfectly nice and comfortable. And lastly, you know, I wanted something that was a truly insulated sleeping pad. I do go winter backpacking. I do face some pretty cold temperatures. I wanted something that was going to keep me warm a little bit more efficiently. What I've noticed with the Neo X-Lite over a couple of my last cold weather trips is that my sides were getting kind of cold a little bit earlier in the night than I had expected it to. So when I held my pad up to light, what I noticed was that that mylar lining, the edges, you know, the silver was actually wearing off, so that reflectiveness was actually wearing away on the sides of the sleeping pad. And so because of that, I was getting a little bit chilled that night. You know, I would still be perfectly fine in my sleeping bag for a few hours, but then, you know, maybe at like between 4 and 5 o'clock in the morning, I'd start to feel a little bit chilled on the sides. And so I wanted something that was going to be insulated from edge to edge to give me that full protection all the way around to keep me nice and warm. So those few things right there, really I was trying to upgrade, you know, and keep my eye on pads that would check off all those boxes. And this definitely hit the nail on the head. So that being said, let me go ahead, open this thing up, blow it up so you guys can get a first-hand look at it. And so you guys can also kind of get an idea of how it compares to the Neo X-Lite. So give me a couple minutes, let me go ahead and blow it up for you. Well, okay guys, we got it all set here for you. So, I got it all blown up. It is beautiful, as I can tell you. So as you can see, I did get the mummy shapes. So I'm trying not to get too big with the camera here, but I got the mummy shapes. So right away off the bat, you probably already noticed, again, that horizontal baffle system. I refuse to go back to the vertical baffle system. I just love the way the horizontal distributes your weight, as well as when you rotate and everything. You can rotate really nice and evenly. It doesn't force you to lay in one of those vertical channels. It's just extremely, extremely comfortable. I think the horizontal kind of molds your body shape a little bit better, contours your body shape a little bit better as well. So again, as you can hear, nothing, not a sound. Let me try that again. Not a sound. So you can see what I mean, how nice and quiet this thing is. Just absolutely unbelievable. As you can see, rubbing my hand over, it's just an extremely soft nylon. I absolutely love it. I don't know, you probably can't see it, but you know, if you see from a good angle with the light, that you can kind of see the actual Primaloft insulation on the interior there. Again, such a great idea on their part. Just gives it, gives it that added efficiency to help keep you warm. I really do also like the nozzle that they put on here. I had big problems with the Thermarest nozzle, how it just screws and unscrews. By keeping it screwed, that gasket would get pinched, and after a while it would start to slowly leak because the gasket wouldn't expand fully. Secondly, as well, trying to blow the thermarest up and then quickly twist that shut before air starts to escape. Pain in the butt. And lastly, it doesn't deflate by itself. It was just so annoying. What I would get into the practice of doing is, while I was still lying on it, is twist the nozzle just so my body weight would deflate the sleeping pad. With this one, it's just simply like a 90-degree turn, and it pops open, and the whole thing starts deflating all by itself. I thought that was a really good idea on their part. Of course, now I have to blow it back up again. So even me just pushing it there, pushing it in, it's not leaking any air, so it automatically seals. And then I simply do a 90-degree turn to the right, and it locks itself in. So again, just really nice on their part with that nozzle. I wish they had put the nozzle kind of on the other side of the pad so that it wasn't sitting right there as you're sleeping on top of the pad itself. So I mean, that's one thing I hope they improve upon. But then again, I probably won't even notice it in the middle of the night. I have my sleeping bag and my pillow sitting up here, so I probably won't even notice the nozzle. I'm not even worried about it. They do have also this little tiny tab up at the top here, so you can hang your pad up to dry if it does get a little bit wet or condensation builds up on it, or if you wash it and you just need it to dry out. Just another nice little tiny feature without really having to do any additional add-ons. Again, as you can see, with that 3 inches of loft, keeps you really nice and lofted on top, combined with that horizontal and also that kind of honeycomb baffle system, just keeps you really lofted on top of the pad itself. So if you are a side sleeper, that hip indentation, you're going to have no problem with it. So as you can see, it is very comparable to the Neo Air X-Lite in the overall design. So especially if you want to keep that horizontal baffle system, that really nice lightweight mummy shape, but you don't want to sacrifice too much on the weight. However, you want something that's much quieter. Take a look at the Nemo Tensor pad. They do have an uninsulated version as well if you only go during the summer. I go for all 4 seasons, so I needed the insulated version. Words, English language, sentences, you know, it all comes together. So yeah, guys, so this is the Nemo Tensor Insulated Sleeping Pad. Again, this is the mummy shape. It comes in other sizes, but for the mummy shape, this is the regular form, 20 inches wide, 72 inches long, 3 inches of loft as well, and only comes in at 14.5 ounces. So this retails for $149.95 directly through Nemo itself. You can find the rectangular versions in the regular and the large size at your local REI, and those go from $149.95 to $169.95. So again, if you are looking for a new pad, I hope this helped in any way, conducting some of your own research and everything. Again, I'm so excited to try this pad out. Just testing it in the store, I've been so impressed with it. Nemo equipment, kudos to you guys. You guys did a fantastic job. You knocked it out of the ballpark. I'm so excited to get the numbers back next year to see the kind of impact you had on thru hikers, how much of the market you took over amongst thru hikers, because I have a feeling this is going to grow and grow amongst the thru hike community. The more people get to see these things firsthand. So again, kudos to you guys, Nemo. Knocked it out of the ballpark. I'm so excited to try this thing out. Thank you guys so much for sending this over to me. Oh, I'm so excited. This is going to be my future pad and my pad that I really look forward to thru hiking with. So as always, guys, I hope this provides you with some great information. I really appreciate you guys always following along. I appreciate all the new subscribers and all the new views. Don't forget to like the video down below if you really did like some of the stuff I was talking about. Don't forget to subscribe as well for future content. Check the links in the description below. Check out my Instagram page. I always have some great pictures there. And last but not least, thanks again, guys. I appreciate all the support. I look forward to talking to you guys again in the very near future. And as always, Baba Ganoush out.